To all the good people all around the world, you are tuning in, listening to, absorbing, consuming, retaining, eating, drinking the best podcast in the world today, and we are just getting started. Welcome to episode 10, double digits, baby, of unlocking your potential excellence. Can I get a round of applause?
Yo, clap it up, bro.
Anyway, this podcast is all about bringing awareness to various topics and issues to help guide and educate everyone and anyone to finding their potential to be excellent in this world. And we are blessed, honored. We have the pleasure of having the one, the only, the founder of Swanky Studios, Nibs. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother, for coming on. Thank you, brother, for coming on.
It's an honor.
All right, so Nabil, before we get right into the podcast, the people themselves need to know who they're listening to. You feel me? So they got to know who you are as a person, what you're all about. So, what are your hobbies and what do you do for a living?
So basically, right now I'm in college. This is kind of like my side thing. Swanky Studios. It's just a little hobby I was interested in since like high school. These guys know about it. And yeah, it's basically I'm just trying to get this to blow up or whatever.
Yep. That's what I like to hear. So we like to do this thing called Roses and Thorns, where we talk about one good thing of your day, one bad thing of your day, or anything that's happened recently. So what one good rose or one good bad thing, a thorn that's happened recently?
Either or?
Both. So like one for each.
A good thing. My dad's coming back from Pakistan today. His home country. He's coming back today.
Yeah.
A bad thing, like, my little cousin just had surgery for his appendix to get it removed and stuff. So yeah, that's a bad thing.
He's feeling better?
Yeah.
That's good. We send him all the prayers and all the blessings as always, of course. So to kind of get more deep into your life a bit more, we like to call this 5 aspects of life: FEMS, financial, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. So at a rating of 1 to 3, you can use decimals if you need to. Financially, where are you at that kind of point in your life? Are you saving more than you're spending? Are you aware of what kind of expenses you are, approaching? Are you doing what you can to generate a passive income? Or if you're not working, are you saving as much as possible? Like 1 to 3 rating. 1 means you're barely doing it, 2 means you're sometimes doing it, 3 means you're doing it on a daily basis.
I would say 1.8 financially, because right now I don't have a job. Right now, I don't have a job, so basically this is what I rely on.
Yeah.
Like the sales on this, and what I do is I go to like thrift stores, stuff like that. Yeah, I buy stuff from there from cheap, resell it, just make a crazy profit, Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I do. I'm looking for a job right now, like to make like a steady income, but the thing I do right now, it's not like a guaranteed money, So yeah, right now I'm looking for a job, but for now I'm a 1.8.
1.8, all right, but there's still progress to come. Emotionally, where are you at, like with the friend groups you're surrounding, and do you need to cut some people off? Do you need to rethink who you're with? Are you with some really good people that you can vibe with, that are on your same wavelength? So where are you in your relationships?
It's crazy because most of the people I chill with, they've been with me since like elementary school. When you get to high school, they're like, oh, these people are not gonna be with you anymore. But I'll shout them out: JR, CJ, all of them. They've been with me since like grade 3, and we're still like talking almost every day.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
So yeah, I would say I'm at like a 2.5, because there are some people that I do need to cut off, but I mostly try to surround myself with like better people, like better people that are that are good influences on me.
That's good. That's what I like to hear. I like to hear that. Mentally, so first year going through almost finishing our first year post-secondary.
Yep.
So there's obviously a lot of adjustments and changings going on in our mental state. So where are you mentally? Are you kind of consumed in your thoughts a lot? Do you need to relax a bit more? If someone comes to you on the street and just starts bashing you, saying, you know, your Swanky Studios business thing that you have going on is not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So are you able to brush that off, brush that hate, or will you allow it to consume you whole?
Most of the time I'm able to brush it. Yeah.
It's a work in progress. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. So I'll say, well, you still need a rating for that?
Oh, yeah.
2.
2?
I'll say 2.
Okay. Not bad.
You know, sometimes I do lose my cool and I need to, like, you know, focus on it. Focus on my patience and stuff, you know?
Physically, so you know, not everyone's a Greek god like this guy right here, but
nah, you're buff too, you know.
I have a little bit, but the habits you're doing, eating, and if you do work out or you do some sort of physical activity, can those habits, like if you continue that same kind of habit from now for like can that same habit help you live a very long life, or do you have to change your routine a bit?
Yeah, I have to change it a bit. The thing is, I play a lot of basketball. You know, I run a lot.
Yeah.
I do a lot of active stuff, but then I eat junk food, you know? And the thing about me is I have a fast metabolism. So when I eat the junk food, I don't really get fat. Like I'm really skinny. So yeah, I could work on that better. I could probably eat healthy food, you know, gain more muscle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What do you think your rating is at for that?
I would say like a 2 point. No, I'd say like a 2.
2? Okay.
Yeah.
No, not bad. Still passing. Spiritually now, everyone's religion is different, so we don't really like to get too much into that. But could you see the unknown and be like, yeah, I'm gonna conquer that? Or do you feel like there's a lot of hesitation in your future goals and approaching those kind of unknown type obstacles?
No,
like where you with that?
I try to follow God more. Oftentimes, you know, procrastination gets in the way. You know, stuff like that. But yeah, you know, I just try to train of thought, bro.
Try to following God, conquer
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
unknown.
So basically, yeah, you know, we're not all perfect, you know. Like no one is perfect. So when you slip up, you have to get up again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do. So right now, I'd say a 1 because I'm not in the best state right now for religious wise.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I'm trying.
But that's good. Like, at least you're able to realize where you're at, and that's the fact that you can realize where you're at and be honest with yourself. You're already 10,000 steps of where you want to go, which kind of segues beautifully into today's gist of our podcast, which is all about goal setting, which is all about seeing the unknown and conquering it. You know, 2020, we're in the new year. We're like a month and a half, almost 2 months into the first part of the decade, and we really want to give you guys this kind of podcast. We really want to give you guys this kind of information to help you guide to conquer any kind of goals you want to achieve. So Tevin, with that being said, take it away.
True. So this podcast being all about goal setting, so we're just gonna start off with you, like, as a person. What are some personal goals that you have?
In the future, I want to become a politician.
A politician? Sure.
You know, that's always been a goal, and that's always something I've been working towards. You know, when I was younger, like maybe grade 1, grade 2, I always been interested in politics. I don't know, something different, you know, like people wouldn't really expect a grade 1 to, you know, try to get into politics and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always been interested. I had people around me that would help me further my interest in politics, if that makes sense. like a family friend would be running in Mississauga Center for MP, and I would help in his campaign or
Oh, really?
stuff like that.
Or
So
some
yeah,
experience and exposure.
yeah,
That's
Wow.
good.
So
that's
that's-
really good.
that's one goal I've been working towards.
So when you say politics, do you mean like prime minister? Do you mean like MP? Like what do you
God
mean? by-
willing, you know.
God willing, prime minister.
Yeah,
Prime Minister Nibs. That's smart.
Prime Minister Nibs. Put that in a t-shirt.
but I'm more interested in provincial right now,
Provincial.
Okay.
because everything that is in the jurisdiction of a premier is what I'm interested in, you know, like hospitals, schools, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. So you said that a lot of people said that a lot of many people wouldn't really understand at grade 1 to say they want to get into that kind of career-wise. So what specifically could you let the people know why you want to get into that? Why do you feel that kind of need to get into that kind of career? Like, what emotional investment are you into that?
Honestly, I don't really know.
Okay.
It's just been I feel like I don't know how to answer that. I don't really know why I like it, but I'm so invested into it. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you're so invested to something that you can't even explain.
Yeah, it's maybe God's plan. You know.
Yeah. What kind of what kind of advice could you give to the people who don't know what it takes to kind of construct a goal for themselves? Like they're at this point in their life where they want to make a big change, you know, new year, new me. They want to make a big change for their life, but they don't know like where to start. Like I'm talking 10, 20, 30, 40-year-olds, and they're at this point where, okay, I'm at this point in my life. I want to make it to this point in my life. What can I do from A to B? So do you have any beginner, rookie type advice for someone who wants to get into changing themselves for the better, who wants to start constructing goals? Like, what can someone do to start making goals for themselves to achieve what they want to do in the future?
Yeah. In elementary school, there's these 7 habits that we sort of live by. One of them was begin with the end in mind. So what I would tell someone that wants to reach your goal, sort of work backwards from your goal. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to get to like, I don't know, if you want to get to the NBA, you know, you have to go through the draft, stuff like that. What do you need to get to the draft? You need like a good college career. What you need, you know?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So kind of work from the end to where you are right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because some people are so focused on getting to the like step 20 when they forgot to go through step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it. That's a good idea.
Interesting.
And maybe you could start from step 20 to go down to step 19 to kind of, you know, kind of further out your game plan. You know what I mean?
True. It's because then if you look at it from that aspect, there's kind of like 2 mindsets. There's an accelerating mindset and a decelerating mindset. You know, when you're speeding up in a car, you might go from 0 to 100, but in order to go from 0 to 100, you have to hit every single marker.
thing.
So from 0 to 100, you have to hit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so like all the way up to 100. So if you're trying to like build like a long-term plan, you could either start from now and then go from 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way up to 100, all the way to like the end goal, or you can do what Nib said, a decelerating mindset, start from 100 and just go work your way back down. But just make sure you hit every marker. Make sure your plan is like detailed, so you don't like miss something. And then like say you want to be an NBA player, but you didn't get into a D1 school. Don't be afraid to like take that part out and like add a little bit more detail into the college section. So maybe you're in not a D1 school, so maybe you have to work a bit harder. You have to go to a bit more practices, maybe go to some like basketball camps and stuff like
all
that.
that stuff. Do what's required. So you talked about starting from the end and going back, starting from the beginning and going to the end. But how could one continue to keep their mind, like keep the end in mind? How can one continue to keep working on their goals when their friends are tempting them to go to a party, or when you're out at a family vacation? Like, how could you continue to, I guess, work on yourself, on your brand, on your career every single day when you're in certain environments where it's hard to adjust? Like, how could you work on your brand when you have exams coming up? How could you work on your brand when you're on a family vacation? Like, how could you, kind of advice do you have to stay consistent in working on your goals when you're in certain environments or with certain friend groups or family groups?
It's sort of recognizing what your priorities are. Basically, I wouldn't work on my brand if I have like family over or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know that family is like the first priority. But on the other hand, if like friends are influencing me to do something bad, and I have an option to go home and like work on my brand, I would obviously work on my brand.
Yep.
So it's kind of having the willpower and recognizing what your priorities are.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, for me, like in my opinion, when it comes to that, I think it's all about like, as you said, setting your priorities, and it's all about knowing like what's more important to you. Family's number one, obviously, and then in comparison to like going to goof off, and then in comparison to like building your brand.
Yeah.
Building your brand is obviously more important. When you look down the line of like going to goof off this one time, what is that really gonna do for me in my future?
Exactly.
It's not really gonna do nothing for you. You can go goof off like when your brand's like selling number one on the stores and stuff like that. You can go goof off all you want because you have the money. So it makes sense to build your brand for now.
That sounds amazing.
And then just think to the future. You can goof off later.
Yeah.
Build your brand now.
Yeah. But it's all about doing it in moderation. It's all about doing like having a balance. I've said it before, like you have all year to work hard, but you don't have all year to spend with your loved ones. In a matter of a second, your brand could go from having no looks to having all the looks. Yeah. And in a matter of a second, you can be chilling with your best friend, mom, dad, brother, sister, and in the next second, they're gone. So it's all about having that balance. It's all about knowing when and where is the right time to work on something, but also realizing that time is not forever. So you gotta spend as much time working on what makes you happy, makes your family happy, and makes those around you happy. Yeah. Any other question?
Oh, so I was just gonna ask you about like, you know what SMART goals are? What do you?
Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time.
Well, kind of like time management.
Time
How are you gonna fit it into your schedule?
Yeah,
type
that
thing. But yeah,
that thing.
yeah.
I thought
So
you meant like SMART goals.
oh, like the word
smart.
smart? No, like
No, the acronym.
SMART.
Oh, okay.
So like, how do you, Brian, since you know what it is, and then we'll go to you, Nibs, how do you go about setting SMART goals in your life?
Okay, so let's say I'm talking about getting.
Oh, and break down each like acronym and how it relates to that goal.
Okay,
so
I'll
that
talk
people
about
understand.
getting, since I'm trying to get my automation engineering degree 4 to 5 years from now. You can break it down. So specific would be getting the degree itself. Just getting the degree itself. I believe that would be the specific. Measurable would be how can I approach getting it? So it would be. Oh no, I always confuse measurable and time. Like how, like time is
Measurable is like
what I have to do to get it in the process.
yeah.
Oh, so measurable would be me working on practice questions, working on practice problems, at least 2 hours a day. Attainable, yes, it's attainable. Realistic, oh shoot, it's kind of confusing. Okay, I always confuse.
Well, attainable is like, say I want to be like an astronaut or something, but like I'm missing like all my arms and all my legs. I won't pass the physical.
Oh, them ones.
I won't pass the physical. and then realistic is like, say I want to be a superhero and have superpowers. Like that's not they don't exist.
But like they're kind of similar in a way.
They are similar, but they're different in the sense of like, one's really looking at like you as a person, like attainable is looking at you and how you fit into that like job, and then realistic is like how does that job fit into like reality as a whole? Because like being a superhero, you can argue that a superhero is like police officers, like stuff like that. But when I add in like superpowers into it, that doesn't exist.
So that'll be more of the realistic part of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a little bit more time to like actually to break it down, but I know like the gist of it would be specifically knowing exactly what you want, knowing what you have to do to approach that goal every single day. How long do you think it will take you to approach that goal? How long it should take you to approach that goal? And how could you schedule time for that kind of goal every day? So with you, with your brand, with school and everything, how do you approach your days? On what kind of specific goals do you have for Swanky Studios, for your education? How do you schedule time for it every day when you have classes? And where do you see yourself 10 years from now with your brand and with your education? So specific, like what specific goals? How do you make time for it every day, and where do you see yourself
for specific? Do I need to do both school and Swanky Studios?
Yeah, separately.
For school, how I manage time. For school, I often stay after over here and just finish my work or whatever. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Like how do you personally work on your goals?
And then for Swaggy Studios, when I go home, I kind of draw up designs that I think I would wear and what other people would like. So yeah, that would fall under specific.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's specific. What's the next one?
Measurable. Like how do you make time for it? How do you work on, like when you do bad on a test, when you make a bad drawing, how do you bounce back from that? Like how do you adjust as you go?
How do I adjust? Sort of recognizing that that mistakes happen, and trying to learn from them, obviously. And yeah, so if I do bad on a test, I try to learn from it, try to study harder on like what I messed up on the test. Make little side notes like, oh, this question I got wrong, and sort of study on that one harder for the next test. And then for the Swanky Studios thing, I don't know, just crumple up a piece of paper, throw it away, make a new one.
Just keep getting back into it. Yeah. Achievable, attainable. What makes you possible to get that degree in the near future? What makes you why should every single person in the world be wearing Swanky Studios merch? Like, what do you have, what do you possess that makes you attainable enough to get that degree and get the #1 spot in the clothing brand?
For the degree, I think I'm very ambitious. I'm a hard worker. Like, I don't easily give up. That's one thing people say about me. They say, "Oh, this guy, he doesn't give up easily." And for Swanky Studios, why people should wear it is because, I don't really care about profits. All I care is about like shoot.
Like, would you wear it? That type of thing? That more so you care about?
Like you care more about like the meaning of it?
Yeah.
I care more about like the design really and whatever.
Like the art behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's as deep as you guys wanted me to get.
No, it's your answer. Yeah. And time, like where do you see yourself? I mean, for getting the degree, of course, so that's pretty much self-explanatory. But for Swanky Studios, at least, where do you see yourself in the near future, whether it's 5 years, 10 years? Where do you see yourself in that brand, and what kind of position do you see yourself?
My bad. I sort of blanked out on the other one. So what I was gonna say is, I don't do it for profits. I do it for like, just the pure joy of putting stuff out, seeing that people want to like wear my stuff. So yeah, that's why I think people should wear it. And what was the other one?
All the time. So where do you see yourself? What kind of position do you see yourself with Swanky Studios 5, 10, 15 years from now?
Honestly, I'm making this a main hobby right now, like a main source of income. This is a main source of income for me right now. But like in 10 years, I want it to be like a side hustle because I want to do more than just sell clothes, like make my own clothes. I want to get into politics, get into law, you know, help people in the community and stuff. So yeah, I see this being like a thing I do on the side, maybe, or just something I do for me.
Yeah, I like that. Was there times where you were approaching your goals every day and there was a lot of criticism behind it? And if there was, were you able to overcome it and bounce back from it in a way that you could share to the good people all around the world?
Yeah, people they look at this, they look at starting a new business as a risk, you know.
Yeah.
And I look at it as like, you know, if it's something I enjoy, like I'm gonna do it. Like I don't really, you know, not to sound rude or anything, but I don't care what you guys think, you know what I mean?
You only got one life.
Yeah, so yeah, people criticize this brand a lot. They said, oh, this is not gonna blow up and stuff. I'm not saying that it blew up yet, or it got blown up right now, you know, but I'm working on it, and oftentimes what you need to do when you face criticism is sort of, everybody says this, but just ignore it. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty easy to ignore.
Yeah, because you're not gonna allow yourself to be consumed by that kind of negativity.
Yeah.
There's that kind of criticism of that kind of like setbacks. What about actual setbacks of procrastination, of laziness, of not being able to get yourself, like when you lack motivation, like because in that day-to-day grind of trying to get what you want, you sometimes for some reason you may feel burnt out in a way. So what could you do to consistently, like what is your mindset of consistently reaching for your goals no matter what the weather is, no matter how tired you are, and any kind of circumstance?
Yeah, I face those a lot, but yeah, procrastination is a big one, and I just remind myself that people, because for the longest time, this actually started in grade 10, I think, second semester, in a business class. It was just a project we had to do. We had to come up with a brand, and me, CJ, and Matthew Vicruces, we came up with this. Me and CJ came up with the name. Matthew was just like, he was just there, you know. But yeah, shout out to Matthew though.
He was there. He was there.
Yeah, so I procrastinated a whole year, almost a whole 2 years actually. This started like first semester college, and I thought of it, or we thought of it in grade 10.
Yeah, make a dream to a reality.
Mm-hmm. So what I would say for procrastination is, you're asking how to overcome it?
Yeah, how to overcome it. How to battle it.
Just remind yourself every day that, like, what you're doing this for, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like remind yourself about the love you have for this, and like, so for me, I would remind myself that, I enjoy doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let laziness like take away my enjoyment, you know what I mean?
I like that.
So that's what I just do.
I like that.
When I face procrastination.
Facts. So I was gonna ask you, this is a pretty deep question.
Okay.
Get it, like get as much into it as you can. But why do setting goals matter? Like, why should the people out there even bother setting goals?
Setting goals. I think it's important to set goals because wow.
Yeah,
want to hop on and then
question.
Yeah, you go first.
So what I've realized with all of this, self-improvement journey type thing I kind of went on in 2017, I realized that with setting goals, it's kind of like a guideline for you to realize where exactly you are in life, kind of to realize what position you are able to put yourself on a day-to-day basis. Setting goals is to help you keep track. I know everyone says it, but it really is to help you keep track of where exactly you are, and so you could compare it to where you're trying to get to every single day. If you don't set goals, then you're just kind of wandering your days, and going about your day, going through the motions without really any purpose, any drive, to an extent, because maybe in the beginning, like, yeah, I'm gonna conquer this, I'm gonna go and get what I want, but then after the first hour, you kind of get half this, bro. The first hour, you're like, okay, what now? Shoot, what am I supposed to do? Oh, shoot, Instagram. Well, let me just scroll through that, and then before you know it, 6 hours have passed, and then your day's over. Then boom, you go to bed, and you've accomplished nothing. So like, setting goals is a way to help you keep yourself accountable. Setting goals is to help you realize where you are trying to go and compare it to where you were before, and it's a way to help you be aware of your actions, be aware of how much results you're producing, and to keep your mind at the right state of hunger, of desire for more, instead of being complacent and risking procrastination and so on and so forth. That's why I feel like setting goals are important. Yeah.
You got something?
Yeah.
Or?
I agree with
Pulling the Brian, saying you agree.
So
there's one thing you said.
I said accountable. You avoid being lazy, complacent. You get to be aware of your actions. You get to compare yourself to where you were before.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, yes. Just enough memory. Yeah, so you get to compare yourself to where you are now to where you're going to be in the future.
Yeah, that's what I agree with.
Yeah.
True. For me, I think about it for like more of the psychological aspect of like, say your goal is to like gain like 10 pounds. You have to be more specific, because like 10 pounds of fat, 10 pounds of muscle, 10 pounds of what? Like 10 pounds of what are you really trying to gain? And then if you just say, oh, I want to gain 10 pounds, you don't say why you're trying to gain 10 pounds. Psychologically, like, as dumb as it sounds, your brain doesn't care. It's like, okay, you want to gain 10 pounds. So what? Like, and then you'll just, if you don't, like, say 10 pounds of what, any 10 pounds that you gain, like, any 10 pounds that you gain are all would count as the 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And your brain would be like, oh, I gained 10 pounds of fat. Even though you wanted 10 pounds of muscle, your brain like, oh, I got 10 pounds of fat, I'm done. Like, I can chill now. So it's like really just about like taking the time and the effort to like write it down. As weird as it sounds, just write it down or like type it out and like take it out of your head and put it somewhere else. As weird as it sounds, that alone kind of just like sets you up psychologically, and just get to like the specifics of how specific you could get with the goal. I feel like that's why it's really important to set goals, because it kind of like sets your mind mentally to be more active with what you want to do.
Yeah.
Kind of like allows you like pursue it more efficiently, to actually like get out of bed and like actually like say, this is something that I want to do.
Something you're looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people who are still kind of figuring their life out? Because those who don't know, we're 17, 18 years old, really, really young compared to a lot of people who are starting businesses and getting education even. So do you have any advice for people who are still trying to figure things out and still at that stage where I don't know where I want to be when I grow up? I don't know what kind of field I want to get into. The job I'm doing is just so boring and I'm tired. I only got one life. I just want to live the life I want to live, blah, blah. You know, that whole societal norm talk. So do you have any advice for people who are still in that figuring out stage, and what could they do to get out of it, to finally pursue and do what they want to do in the future?
To be honest, like making any big decision, you have to take your time. We, as when we were in high school, we were forced to decide our career for the rest of our lives, which is a big
Basically.
big decision that you make. You know,
18, 17 years old, bro.
Yeah.
Like, practically, that is insane.
It's basically from grade 11, because you don't have the prerequisites. You can't get into the
Not even. Sometimes it's even from grade 9, because you got to know ahead of time. So you
you take those extra
you're building the
things.
fundamentals.
yeah.
Or like drama and dance, you need to like take it from grade 9 and take it all the way
And
through.
on top of that, you have to do research on the program and the school and the finance. You got to save up money. Like, there's just
Crazy.
to practically think.
To think that far ahead is crazy.
To
bro.
practically think from a 15, sometimes even 14-year-old
Just coming out of
mind,
elementary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
to think of where you want to be, what you want to be for the next 40, 50, 60 years.
That's why so many people switch degrees. That's why so many people switch what they want to do, because just like
And that's why so many people
Bro.
just get complacent because they just are like, you know what, I'm tired of switching. I'm tired of going through the house.
Yeah, and
I'm
they're just not happy.
Let me just give me a decent amount of money to pay my bills and put food on my table, and I'll call it a life.
They're so noticeable when you're not happy at your job, fam. It's so noticeable because it's like I can feel that you're angry, that you're not like a dancer or something, not like something else that you want to be.
But yeah, like any more specific like ideas for helping people get out that figuring out stage to do what they want to do.
Yeah, just take your time, because you know, like if you need to take time off in like high school, or no, not high school, like high school going to college. Yeah, you could take a couple years off, just figure out what you want to do, figure out what you're gonna be happy with.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be doing it for the rest of your life, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a scary thought. So
yeah, bro. Just as you said, like I cannot stress this enough. Just like make sure you're happy, fam.
Yeah.
Because if you're not happy, that's why all men are just depressed. Like they're just sad.
Just depressed every day.
So like I don't even
hurt. And I feel it for them too, you know.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And like it's even worse for like
So bad.
the kids who do. Like imagine if I wanted to be a dancer, and if I want to be a dancer, I'm gonna want to start from like 2 years old. They start young.
They start young. Same with like Olympic sports. They start young.
Yeah. So oh my god, sorry. I'm stressing out for other people.
I'm really stressing for everybody that's like,
bro, just be happy. Like I don't know how much more I gotta say.
Bro, like no, don't even worry about money for now.
Bro,
just mooch off your parents. I don't even care. Mooch off your parents until you find something that you're happy with, fam.
Bro,
because if you're not happy, you're just gonna be depressed for the rest of your life.
As long as you have a place to live,
exactly,
you
bro.
will have food, and your bills are paid, bro.
Yo,
do that.
Yo, don't even worry about it, fam.
Who
just
cares?
do what makes you happy. Fam.
Yo, if you're so like insecure, delete social media and just focus on you.
For real.
Focus on you and be happy. I don't know how many more times I gotta say it. Focus on you and be happy.
Because like as you go through your day, I can like list like 10 people that I've seen like throughout the day like doing their job and they're just not happy. Like bro, I've seen bus drivers, they're just not happy, and I'm like, bro, my life is in your hands, bro. You're driving, right? like I would want you to be happy at this job, because if you're not, like, I don't want to die.
Has there been any kind of you see how like everyone's life is obviously different, so everyone has a different way of approaching certain things in life, especially goals, especially lifestyle. So has there been a specific way you've approached life, a specific like a mantra or a mindset or a certain hack of life that you kind of figured out so far to kind of get you to where you are today, or are you working on that to get to where you are today? Like waking up at a certain time, doing a certain morning routine. Like, do you have that kind of thing? That Nabil,
that Nibs routine.
That Nibs routine that kind of gets you to get that push through that extra like hard working day.
I'm still working on it, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Like your little shtick.
Yeah, I don't have a wake up routine or none of that. Like, I would either wake up at 8 a.m. in the morning or like 4 in the afternoon. You know what I mean?
Well, as long as you're productive at the time you're awake.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still working on it.
That's good. It's like a day-to-day grind.
What about for you? What routine helps you like really like get in the mindset of setting goals and stuff like that?
I feel like I have a handful of routines here and there, but the one thing that really like sticks to me, that really gets me in that mode, is not specifically like meditation, but more of just kind of taking time and thinking of where I am. I have this whole thing, where I am, what I'm trying to get to, and what I gotta do to get there. And I can use that same 3-step method with everything. Yeah. With everything. Okay, first semester, school was rough. This is where I am. These are my grades. This is where I want to get to. What do I gotta do to get from here to here? Literally, like here to here. Like, what can I do in this grade? Like,
that reminds me of this math problem, as weird as it sounds, and like calculus. It's basically called the mean value theorem. Because don't worry about that. Anyway, the point is, for any like line or curve on a graph, you can draw 2 points.
Yeah.
You can draw 2 points, and then if you draw any line in between those 2 points, no matter like if it has to be a curve or like a straight line.
Yeah.
if you draw a line from point to point, it has to cross that line that you put in between the points.
Oh,
if you understand what I'm saying, it has to be a line of intersection.
Okay.
So you have A, B, and you have a line called C. Whatever line you draw from A to B, it has to pass that point.
Oh, I
so
see.
that's kind of like what you were like going through just now. You're like, you start from here. Oh, just like same what he was saying. You start from here. Yeah. You envision where you want to be, and you just like filling the space.
Filling the space.
Just filling the space.
It's like
begin with the end in mind.
Exactly.
Like you start with your intro, you do the conclusion, and you figure out the rest.
Exactly, bro. That's why I got through grade 11 and grade 12 English.
That's
write the thesis, man.
Write
the conclusion sentence and just like put bare BS in between that relates to those two.
Yeah, like, that's kind of like my shtick. That I'm like, okay, whatever emotion experience I'm going through, I'm tired of it. Like I don't want to be in it anymore. So this is where I am. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm going through. And I don't want that anymore. I want this. I want this. I want this kind of thought process. I want this kind of mindset. I want this kind of relationship. I want these kind of grades. I want these kind of things. So what can I do to get here, from here, and whatever filler, I'll figure that out as time goes by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what I had the idea to do right now is that like I'm gonna ask a bunch of like rapid fire questions for.
Wait, you didn't answer.
Huh?
You didn't answer.
Baby answers questions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. What's the question?
Black space, tunnel vision. I've been regretting all my decisions.